Welcome back and welcome to Vlogmas Day 3. This is going to be my December TBR. My blog post for my December TBR isn't going to be up until tomorrow, so this is like a sneak peek. I have a few Kindle books to tell you about, a few physical books to tell you about, a few audio books to tell you about, as always. My December TBR will probably change as I kind of get books that I forgot I had on hold from the library or get given books. Anything, but yes, first of all, December releases, which will be on my Kindle because I have NetGalley copies of these. The first one is It Had to Be You, which is by Kerry Stainton, and this one is out this week. It is out on the 6th of December. I am very much looking forward to that one because Kerry Stainton writes very funny books, so I'm looking forward to just setting aside some time and working my way through that one, like I did with her previous novel. The second December release that is on my TBR isn't out until the very end of December. It's actually out on the 28th of December, but I'm obviously going to try and read it before then so I can have my review up for you on the 28th, and that is, I've got my list here, It Started With a Tweet by Annabelle, which comes out on the 28th of December. Again, this one sounds like it could be funny too, which is what we need in December. I've got Christmassy reads and I might throw some Christmassy reads in, but in general, I'm looking for some humour, I'm looking for some escapism in December. Then I have two November reads that I did not read from my November TBR, just because November, I don't know what it is about November, it always ends up being so busy. Obviously I was back in the UK, and while I was back in the UK I was working. The last week that I was back in the UK I was trying to see everyone and everything that I hadn't managed to see in the 3 months that I'd been there. I didn't end up working any day that week apart from Monday, so thankfully the rest of my week was clear. I had hair appointments, dentist appointments, appointments to see people all over the country, so it was really busy. And then I flew back here. I was incredibly jet lagged. I didn't read a ton on the plane. I read some, but they basically had the lights off and the seatbelt sign on the whole time, so I was restricted to reading on my phone. Whatever. So yeah, and then when I got back these last couple of days, I've been finishing off my NaNoWriMo project. Still not finished, but the actual NaNoWriMo part of it is. And yeah, we were in Vegas for basically a week. I kind of forgot that it was going to be a full week. So yeah, November ended up being really busy. So these books are left over from November. First of all, we've got Some Kind of Wonderful by Giovanna Fletcher. Really want to read this one. I don't know if I'm going to read my Kindle copy of it or if I'm going to download the audiobook of it, because all of her previous novels I've listened to the audiobook of, and sometimes I find that if I'm kind of in tune with one author on audiobook, that I find that I stick better with them on audiobook. So I may read it on Kindle, I may listen to it on audiobook. We'll see when it comes to my December wrap up. And then the other one was released just on the last day of November, so I'm not doing too badly in the fact that I haven't read it yet, and that is The Place We Met by Isabel Broom, which I'm very excited to read, and will be the next book that I begin on my Kindle. Definitely. And then I've got a couple of other books in my other books I want to read category. You may have seen me talk about this one a couple of times, and that is All About Mia by Lisa Williamson. I am actually currently listening to the audiobook of this one because my library had it on audiobook, so I've downloaded it on audiobook. I'm about a third of the way through so far, so probably going to finish that, if not today then tomorrow. You'll have seen me hold it up in my kind of UK book haul, library book haul / October and November TBR, because I really wanted to read it then and I got it from the library there, but thankfully my library had it on audiobook, so that's great. And then another one that I'm partway through on my Kindle, and that is Moonrise by Sarah Crossan. I actually started this one at the beginning of September because it came out at the beginning of September, and I just never finished it, and it's written in verse, so it's going to be quite a quick read, and I would just like to get it finished by the end of the year, so that's definitely firmly on the December TBR, and I will make time in my schedule to sit down and read that, because what I've read so far has been really intense, but you know, the way that John Green writes a book and speaks to young adults as if they are adults, he doesn't speak down to them. This book is very like that as well, and so I definitely want to get it finished, but just other things have come along and I've kind of been more in the mood for a novel than for verse or poetry. But I did read that other poetry book in my November wrap up, so hopefully I'm kind of back in the zone for that kind of reading. That was a big ramble about one particular book. And then I started listening to the audiobook of What Happened by Hillary Rodham Clinton, and we started listening to that on our road trip, but then it returned to the library because it's quite a long book. We listened to it for the whole way to Vegas, but unfortunately it returned before we could finish listening to it, so I've got a hold on it, so I'm keeping my fingers crossed that it comes fairly soon and oh, excuse me, we can listen to the rest of that in the month of December. And then I have some physical books to show you. Yay! I was just talking about this one in my November wrap up, and I almost forgot that I had it, because I did get an e-copy of this one while I was away, but I never got around to reading it, and that is The Princess Saves Herself in this one by Amanda Lovelace. Definitely know that I want to read this one. And I also have The Sun and Her Flowers by Rupi Kaur, which is by the same author of Milk and Honey. So hopefully going to make some time to read the two of these if I'm in the mood for this. Anyway, this one is a poetry book and is written in verse as well, and some of it is written as shape poetry, which is quite interesting too. Then I have a couple of proof copies that I want to read during December because I'm reading them as buddy reads with people. The first one is You Me Everything by Catherine Isaac. I'm going to be doing this as a buddy read with Hayley, so hopefully you will have another of our joint videos on that one during the month of December, hopefully, because we're going to be reading this very, very soon. And then another one which I took in my bag on the plane to the UK and in my bag on the plane back from the UK, but as I say, it's very difficult when they turn the lights out to read a full physical book. I really don't know why they turned the lights out on the flight back, because it was a day flight. I took off at like 1 and landed at like 4, so I don't know why they would have turned the lights out and kept the fasten seatbelt sign on the whole time. But that is Anatomy of a Scandal, which is by Sarah Vaughan. This is a proof copy here, and this one comes out in January. Oh, sorry, I'm having awful hiccups this morning. Yeah, this one comes out in January, so I definitely want to read this one in December, and I've heard amazing things about that one. And both of these are proofs that were sent to me by Simon & Schuster, so yes, they are publishing next year. And then a couple of books that you've seen in my book hauls and my TBRs that I just haven't got to yet. The first one of these is They Both Die at the End by Adam Silvera. This one is another one of those that I might do a little US versus UK cover. I will see what they've got at the library when I go later on today. That one came out August, I think it was, in both countries, and I haven't got around to reading it yet, and I really, really wanted to. And the other one is Margot and Me by Juno Dawson. I read Gender Games by Juno Dawson, and This Book is Gay by Juno Dawson. I had to look, it's just, it's there. I had to look behind me then to remember what it was called, because I believe in my previous video I called it by the wrong name, so I didn't want to do that again. And so these two are YA novels, and they are firmly on my December TBR because I would like to read some more YA. I've been reading a lot of adult fiction recently, and starting All About Mia has made me really want to read some more YA, so there we go. And then another book which we started listening to on audiobook, which we will definitely finish listening to on audiobook in the month of December, and that is The Life and Times of the Thunderbolt Kid by Bill Bryson. And this is basically kind of his, it's kind of billed as his memoir. As I say, we have already started it, we are already firmly into it, but not enough to finish it during the month of November. But yeah, it's about his kind of like times growing up, but it's got a very similar feel to the rest of his books. In particular, this one here, the One Summer America 1920 28, I think it is, where he talks a lot about baseball. And he talks a lot about baseball in this one because his dad was a sports writer, so he covered the World Series and he covered lots of other baseball games as well, and he's obviously very into that. So not too massive a TBR, but as I say, it might grow and change as I pick up things from the library. I've got some holds that have come into the library which I am literally on my way out the door to pick up just now, and I kind of forgotten some of the things that I requested, so it'll be a bit of a surprise when I get there. Yes, so if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. Remember to subscribe so that my Vlogmas videos, which will be coming at you every day, hit your subscription feed. I will try to upload them at a similar time every day, but if it ends up being evening here in Denver, it'll end up being middle of the night in the UK, so you might have them hit your subscription feed in the morning when you wake up, depending what country you're watching in. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, and yes, go back to my Vlogmas Day 1 video and let me know what else you would like to see in my month of videos up until Christmas. I think I'm going to stop at Christmas. I did last year, but let me know in the comments on that video what else you would like to see in these videos, and I will hopefully be able to make that happen. So I will be back with another video for you tomorrow. Can't tell what it's going to be yet. It's very exciting. I'm hopefully going to do a few vlog style videos as well, so it might be one of those. Yes, so I will see you with my video tomorrow. Bye.